Okay, so today I'm going to build a small space station with multiple arms, which will be docking to some constituent parts, just so I can eventually deorbit it and watch it blow up in a big ball of fire. It'll be fun. So, first things first, I'm going to design it in the spaceplane hangar because it gives you a longer room to work with, and I kind of like building space station uh, like pseudo ISS type station stuff. So yeah, it's just gonna be more room to work in that particular format. And the first thing I have to do is put a capsule or control module. So for this one, I'm gonna build a small station that I can easily get in orbit. Uh, well, I mean, some of the main parts. I'm putting a capsule on it, and I'm going to give it a remote guidance unit so that if nobody is on the station, should I choose to evacuate deorbit it, which I will, that I can control it remotely and not kill any kerbals in the process. And sticking with the tradition of naming shit in space after Greek crap, I'm gonna name this one Particles Station. So, we I've got our cupola there. I'm going to change the color because I like that better, the texture. We've got the remote guidance unit, and we're not just sending somebody to space and hang out and stare at the window. No. We're not bashing two rocks together. We're going to do some science. So we got to have one of these fun, what do you call them? Like a science laboratory module thing. And once I find the part here, I'll be able to slap it on there. If I can find the right, I'm in the wrong thing. Here we go, science. We are going to put a mobile processing lab so they can develop pretty pictures. And change that part color. And just for funsies, we're going to slap in one of these hydroponics modules because, you know, I mean, what kind of space station is it? We can't have plants growing in space because we can. Oh, and I like it because you can open and close the windows, except for like re-entry. Not that I intend for this to survive, but you never know. It might. We're gonna have a lot of electronics on here, so we're gonna need to have some batteries. So I'm gonna throw some big honkin' batteries on here. Actually, because of the way the ladders are, do it like that, and throw another one like that, so we can grab all the stuff. If I do any EVA stuff, which I might. And because it's a space station, I might have to maneuver and orbit it or something crazy. I'm going to slap our CS fuel tank on there, like so. Reattach that, slap another one over here. So, you know, if I gotta move it out of the way for docking purposes, I can do that. Okay, so I've got okay, so I've got some like constituent parts that I need. I'm going to need a way to communicate should I choose to fly remotely. And I'm going to put some antenna on it. Right now I'm just going to slap that right there. But because I eventually want to add some more parts, because I'm sitting, this would be the largest payload that has some batteries, but it'll have some ports for docking and stuff, so we'll do that here. Let's see. I want to put some docking ports on here. But first, alright, I'm going to need some of those. I'm going to slap that right there. I'll need some structural stuff to bind it to the entire station, because this game works in a tree system. But we got some parts to do radial attachments, which is just slapping more tubes on the side. It's one of my favorite things I like to do. And we are going to make it mirror symmetry, so everything it does over here, it will also do on the opposite side. We're going to get that aligned the way I want it. There we go. And change that to the metal type. And I've actually sent a few of these up before, so I am actually not that worried about the payload capacity because I always put way too many engines on it anyway. Like, I either go to space or I don't. Like, I don't really, like, I don't half-ass it, I whole-ass go into space. And I want to have some more docking port modules over here. I'm going to Control X. Wait, that's not right. Oh, Alt Control to copy. So that way I don't have to, remake the whole part over and over. And because of the nature of the space station, I kind of got in my head, I haven't put it down yet. I'm going to put 4 of these bad birds on here. So, ooh. Yeah, I don't know. I think 4 antennas is probably a little too much. Let's just stick with the 2. And yeah, I'll slap them right there. That'll be fun. Okay. So, this will be my main station module here. I'm trying to decide if I want to add some huge extra fuel tanks. No. I mean, I will when I go to launch it, but for right now, what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to put a big Clampotron docking port senior on here. So it's like the big, 3.25 millimeter, or whatever, or meter. That's 3 meters wide. Anyway, so that way eventually if I want to, I can come dock bigger stuff. And I'm going to slap some structural pieces on here. These modular girder segments. And I will explain the reason why a little later. I'll put them there, and I'm going to park it right here. Now I do this because the way I build these stations, when I start attaching more modules, I like to give the struts something to connect to, and we'll get into that later. So orbital maneuvering capability, or just rash control. Since I'm using monopropellant in there, I'm going to need some pretty heavy-duty monopropellant thruster blast. Well, I mean, I say that, but not really. I'm going to put 2 there on this side, and I'm going to put 2 over here. And I do have a reaction control wheel in here, or just reaction wheel. And I'm going to leave it there, and I can't set up another one here. I think I might. No, I'm not going to. That'll cause wobbling issues later. Okay, so everything I did on this side is mirrored over on that side, which is good. So this is just like my basic station that I'm sending up. And I can do a little bit of science. I think with this one I can conduct visual scans, which is, wherever's in the cupola here, you can just kind of look out the window and, document what they see, and this is where they process that science and study it in situ, or in situation. And then I'll have this experiment module they can do here. But wait, there is one I think I kind of want to slap on here at the bottom. And I'm going to put a structural radial attachment point. I'm going to make it to where there's just one and it's on the bottom. And slap that right there. Now, the piece of science I'm going to throw on here is the, what do you call it? Oh, it's no science. It's this. This is a fun little device. It's the Oculus Remote Telescope. A small remotely operated telescope enclosed in a protective cupola. To study the stars or nearby planets from the relative safety of your own command capsule. So, that's fun. I really like how they put emphasis on relative safety because, OSHA would be very upset at some of the things I do in this game. There is that so far. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and save that. Actually, I don't know why I just saved it here. But what we are going to do is we're going to switch to the vehicle assembly bay so that I can slap some rockets. I could use space planes to deliver this, but I don't really build humongous cargo space planes that large. But, oh man, I did forget something. So as cool as these space stations are, John, this is something I like to do. Like, I forego my quality of life enhancing mods strictly so I can do fun things like put more light bulbs on here. There we go, put the orange, that one. And I'm going to go ahead and turn that blink on. I'm going to copy that and move it down here, right about there. That's good. And then I'm going to put just some regular white ones on here that don't blink, and I can, just go see them all the time, whatever I want. Alright, that looks good. Fun. And just so I can kind of illuminate my whole station, slap some of these bad boys on here. Yep, that looks good. Okay, so you might see that this is kind of streamlined, but with my antennas hanging out on my docking ports, it's still really not that aerodynamic. So what I'm going to do is throw in a payload fairing, protective shell. Could do that one, but I'm thinking I'm gonna go, yeah, this one's. So you might see that I got a problem that when I try to cover this, it's going to run into my antennas. So I'll just make it a little bit fatter. And I mean, doing that will put some drag on it, but not like a whole heap of not. And I just realized I need to redo that. Yep. Because what I need to do is put another coupling docking port on there, and I'm going to rotate that so it's symmetrical, because it bugs me if it's not. Now, I'm going to payload the protector shell fairing back on. I'm going to rebuild it. I'm going to make it a little bit wider for my antennae. And it tells me like what gigahertz range and frequency they operate, but I prefer to use the metric that, does it work? Oh, okay, good. Well then, we'll just send it up. Gonna throw some struts on here to keep it stable, because you don't want your payload shifting mid-flight. Let's see what color we can get here. Oh man, that's cool. Okay, I like that. So it's not like a reflective white shell, but it'll look like some sort of Soviet-style missile that's launching at the science lab. That'll be fun. Fuel tanks. This will be a fun one. This is what's going to get me into space and to orbit around Kerbin and the moon. I've played this too long because I can more or less just slap on a whole bunch of stuff. Usually it works. And I'm playing in sandbox, so there's not really a need for like budgeting or unlocking fun new engines or science. So with that, I think I'm just going to try to find a big old whopper of an engine to slap on here. Let's see, I know I had some that were just standard liquid fuel engines. The mainsail was 13, yeah, no, not big enough. We need bigger, we need some real monstrosities of an engine. 1.89, I will take it. And oh man, look, those are great. Okay, so I want a think I want to get some more Delta V, because I don't think 3000 probably could get me to orbit if I played my cards right, but I think I would want a little bit more range. These or these? Yeah, those are way too big. You can go here. Yep, the Kerbo die. Slap that on there. You know what? No. Yeah. Now, you can look at this, and you can look at the engine that I've chosen. This is something that you could do. I'm not going to do, but I am showing you that if somebody cares enough to do this, and if you're doing career mode, you definitely kind of have to do this just to save time and money and efficiency. Go find the engine. This is like the big boy. Yeah, okay. This is the Mammoth liquid fuel engine. So it uses 116 liquid fuel units a second, and the oxidizer is 142. So you kind of want to estimate that ratio, because okay, yeah, they actually throw it in there on these engines, because sometimes they don't. You have to like make your own ratios to make it work, or because you'll end up with like a lot more oxidizer than you do liquid fuel. But yeah, so we've got that going on, and because this is so heavy in junk, I'm not really going to put any real RCS maneuvering capabilities on it. I'm just going to go straight up and then turn left, like NASCAR or something. But, so basically that's 1.58, and just in that bottom stage right there. What I'm going to do here is, I'm going to slap on some solid rocket boosters. And I'm going to put some big, chunky, solid rocket boosters on there that just get fired up, sent out. Where are the Clydesdales? Yeah, I love these guys. They're huge. Might be too big. But I might need to throw them out a little bit more. What's my... Oh man, I love that. That's great. 1.47. Okay, so it will be slow, but I can manage. Okay, so you can see here, my drive plume for this engine is definitely going to, well, not the, what do you call it, the fairing, the gimbal's going to hit, so I'm going to need to move it down a bit. We have a tool for just making small adjustments like that. Okay, so this will be my first stage, they're going to go off, and because it only, what, TW, thrust to weight ratio 1.47, it's going to crawl. It's going to crawl for maybe the first 10,000 meters. But that's okay. I got aerodynamics to throw on there to give it a, you know, smaller profile, at least more, not as much drag. We're sending rockets to space, not brick walls. So, I'm gonna slap some struts on. And these are kind of a necessity, because without it, all these little rockets will wobble. It's not like these connectors aren't made of, you know, they're not made of flex tape or anything, so we'll just, they won't do very well if you don't throw some reinforcements on there. Like, you know, anybody else does, they try to make it as symmetrical as possible, but I've done this a few times, so I just kind of... Alright, we're prepared to launch the first, the main module of Haphazardly Station. Go here, throw some of these towers on. There, does that seem symmetrical? Yeah, okay, that looks good. We're gonna throw two more up here. Alright. I'd say we're good to go. We need to do something with the staging order. We want to turn these engines on before we release. And that's for those. Okay, yeah, that'll work. That'll be fine. It's fine. Alright, we're going to set those so that it decouples. At the same time this decouples, it kicks these engines off. Because these are going to be really hot and heavy. We want to get away from them fast. So here we go. We'll go ahead and save that. Oh, we got crew. We got Jet. He's our pilot. We have our scientist, and we'll throw our engineer in here. We'll throw the engineer in the hydroponics pod. Okay. Alright, so here we go. Ready to work stuff. That was actually a really modest part count compared to the other stuff I made down here. So here we are, and I sure hope I made it face the right way. We're going to find out. Anyway, we'll turn SAS, but we're not turning RCS on, because if we do that, only the RCS up in here will be moving, so we'll have directional control from like the tip of the rocket, and that's horribly unstable. Alright, and we will get ready to launch in 5, 4, go. Alright, off we go. At a steady pace of 20 meters a second. That's pretty good. It's actually crawling a little faster than that one, too. Now, for the sake of my 50-degree gravity turn at 10,000 meters, because I don't have a whole lot of good rash control systems on these first two stages, for the most part, I'm just going to go up. And these solid rocket boosters, I think they do gimbal a little bit, but it's nothing to write home about. And if anything else, it'll just serve to, destabilize your whole rocket. So right now, we're just going to punch through the atmosphere, as fast as we can, because yeah, we're already at what, 300 meters per second. That's going pretty good. Once I clear that bottom layer of the atmosphere, these other engines can likely carry me all the way into it. And now I can't decide if I'm going to try to start my gravity turn just a bit and hope my rocket doesn't tip completely over. Yeah, okay. Probably helps that my pilot's a 5-star pilot. The less experience they have, the dumber they are. I don't know why I have that up. Alright, there we go. Yep, so we get that atmospheric burn going on. And we oh my gosh. So 2 of the rocket engines exploded, or the solid rocket boosters exploded, but the rest of this kind of went off without a hitch. And now we're just trying to get to 70,000 meters. So once we get there, we're in space, baby, and I can flatten out my arc, go to my 90 degrees, and then hit orbit. Oh yeah, oh wow, sorry, I was on that for a second. Yeah, we're going to turn that down a bit. Actually, I need to turn the gimbal on a little bit, because I need to flatten out my arc. I really do need to get like a sound effects mod that's better, because when it's burning low like that, it doesn't make any sound. Oh yeah, we are way, we got a bit of a problem. I mean, not really, it's just, I put way too much delta V on here, so I'm gonna be stuck with these engines for a while. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and lose the, that protective shell. Okay, so I put, RCS on prograde. We're gonna try to flatten it out and hit orbit. Alright, this is going to be a very, this orbit's going to have very high apoapsis. Yeah, 259,000 meters. That's a little further than I want. Normally I like to hover between the 100 and 150,000 meter range. But for right now, I'm just going to stick with 250. Because I'm going to launch some more station parts later. Yeah, that's going to be huge. Alright, now it's going to leave it there until we figure out what we're working with. But we are officially in space. We're in stable orbit. I'm going to kick some lights on, and, yeah, maybe open this. I'll open that. There we go. Open Windows, do some science. Actually, we'll go ahead and do some science here. Let's observe the plant growth. It says you open a shutter to see what impact it may have on the plants. Nothing happens immediately, but later on you log that one of them is shriveled and is possibly burned, particularly a sunlit plant. That's not a good sign. Well, hey, any science is good science. We're going to process that in the lab. And now that we're done with that, we're going to start adding modules to put on here. It'll be fun. Alright, do the Space Center. Now, I do have the other Kerbal that I can send, but I'm not going to. I'm going to some robots to do my dirty work. So all those launch towers that I built, yeah, I don't know what happened, but it used to, it would just go ahead and recover them for you, because it basically logs them as debris. It's just like scattered all over the launch pad, which I guess in real life you would have to go do something with the towers. I don't know NASA's in the SpaceX business of like refurbishing stuff like all the time. We're going to cover that one. Okay, so we got the station still up there, and because I threw antenna on it, you can see it's making connections with all the different locations on Kerbin to maintain constant contact. So we're going to leave there. And we're going to design some parts on our station after it gets done. Okay, here's another. We're going to get the space plane hangar. Okay, so I like to call these arms. So we're going to call this one. We're going to call these arms. Come on. Alright, there we go. So, first thing we need is pod. I'm not seeing any Kerbals, so I'm going to send a remote guidance unit. And I'm going to go by this, I think it's like a 1 meter profile. Oh, it's, yeah, 1.25 meters. Okay, 1.25 meters. Now, that is our guidance unit. It's a little robot that we're sending out right there. And it has a small reaction control wheel built into it, which is fun. So we're going to need to dock it with the station. So we're going to need to have some couplings on there. Gonna put one here. Alright, and robots need battery power. So we're going to throw is that what I think it is? No, it's not that. Alright, we're going to throw a big old battery pack on here. Okay, so that's on there, good. Now, if you may notice on the other station, I didn't put any solar panels on there. And you might be wondering how it's supposed to recharge my batteries. Well, I'll tell you. Solar panels that I'm going to put on here now. So not only I like it because it makes it like a necessity for me to slap some solar panels on. And this is just a structural component that looks really pretty. And it's got windows, so you can like pretend you got people in it. You don't. We're gonna face this one this way. I'm gonna make it a micro metal frame, and actually no. Yeah, no, that's right. All right, we're gonna select some solar panels to slap on this bad boy. I think I'm gonna go with these collapsible ones because these are like my pseudo ISS panels that I enjoy. Alright, we're gonna. Ooh, that's not those. There we go. Okay. Okay, so there's that. We will need. We're gonna need some mono because this is just I'm remotely guiding it to dock at the station, so we're gonna have to. Yep, we got some mono out there. Another one on there, and oh, this is gonna be fun. I'm gonna copy this, carry them here, like so, and bingo, that. With all these solar panels and mono propellant, I am thinking that I scoot these over here. So yeah, that looks good. That looks really great. Okay, so we're going to coupling. I'm going to throw the example from docking over, and now we're going to do something kind of fun. Yeah, we're going to slap, well, first I'm going to clone that, flip it around, so, and we're going to slap some liquid fuel booster on there, and because of the nature of, actually we're going to take that, and this will make aesthetic sense. Okay, now we're going to do, because these coupling connections, they're not very sturdy, they tend to wobble you over playroom, which is actually kind of helpful because if you have like if you're trying to manually dock to something and your space station, you kind of hit it, because it has play in it, it won't like totally destroy your space station or just whatever shit you're trying to dock with. And we're going to go ahead and put some struts here so that when I go to the map of the dang thing, those struts will be there anyway. Okay, so we've got everything we need. We've got monopropellant tanks, we've got fuel tank. So I'm missing an individual. I'm going to opt for this, what do you call it? It's a, actually, no. I'm going to change this engine tank. This is a mod I have that I can keep the tanks I want aesthetically and just put whatever kind of chemicals I want in it. It's cheap, but it's fun and it makes more sense and it's really helpful. Some of these fuel tanks will only let you put like liquid fuel in there and not like xenon gas or anything. It's far too cool. And this is a front engine that only uses liquid fuel. So once I do get it into orbit, I will have to use it very sparingly. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to make an engine fleet. I think that's a couple maybe? Yep, that's here. And this just basically lets me give like an aesthetic gap in between stacks. I think medium short is where I want this. No, that is not what I want. I want medium. Or just medium, yeah. Well, yes, that's about good. Yeah, I think I'm gonna, okay. Oh, I need reaction control. There we go, command control. I need RCS. 2. Here's my favorite because they can, like, they've got kind of mid-range on power and they can stand a lot of heat from like reentries and stuff. Oh, and because I am doing this remotely, I don't think I need to, but just for fun, I'm going to slap just a small antenna on here. There. I'll put it. Okay, so that's the arm one. I'm going to go ahead and just save this so you can modify it later. Now I'm going to switch to my editor. Or switch where, yeah, from that VAB. There we go. And because I know for a fact it's everything north to south. Okay, now this will be kind of fun and interesting. I can't make any promises I'm not going to blow this up. I want to go to, well, no, we don't have anything. Okay, because the nature is slightly. Well, just because the profile, because I got solar panels and a whole bunch of other. It's not gonna let me. It's gonna collide with that. Oh, okay. So we gotta rebuild the track there. I'm just gonna put a little bit out. That's fine. Now, once again, this is not really like my best effort on the space station. This is just kind of slapped one together a few times. Okay, fairing, payload, everything seems to be decent. I can't guarantee the engine's not going to blow up, but we shall see. Now, that's what kind of profile is that? I guess it was that 5 Yeah, like that. What is that size? I don't know what size it is. Well, that was 1.25. That's what, 3 meter? You know what? That's fine. That can work. I can work with that. So it's gonna go here. Yeah. There it is. Beautiful. Set that there, that there. Is that liquid fuel oxide? Liquid fuel oxide. Excellent. Make it a little bit more delta heat out of it. Where's my wolfhound skipper main signal? Let's. Oh yeah, 1300. Yeah, okay. So I got a lot of thrust, but not a lot of delta, which is fine because I think I really overplanned on the last one. That's good. Okay, so I'm gonna slap some early states solid rocket boosters to get out of there. Oh, just to make it work. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Alright. And I'm not going to go with Clydesdale this time. This time I'm going to go with something a little bit smaller. The Thoroughbred. Yeah, these will be fun. I mean, I say that. This could be a disaster. Half the times I don't know if I'm seeing something in space or just making expensive fireworks. Okay, for the sake of argument, let's throw those together and see how much we're getting. Oh yeah, 1.99. I do not need 4 of these. Okay, what I'm going to do is go ahead and get set up, and I can figure out how many I want. And I'm going to tweak scale that. Okay, that looks good. Okay, to move that down. No, I don't think I'm even going to have the structural talents on this. Okay, so I have this. How much is that? 2.5. That's perfect. So let's see if I can adjust the thrust. I like that. I'm fine with that. Okay. Yeah, sure. Let's hit it. Let's say 1-1. Alright, yep. I'm just going to try to dock one tonight, and that'll do that for this video. Oh crap. Nope. I don't know if you noticed that. But, yeah, it's not good. That's going on right there. I forgot the first rule of rocket science, and that's struts. Okay. That's good. Right there. And one. Oh man. Right there. And right there. Alright. Now I will definitely not be trying to turn this thing until I saw the rocket boosters are extended, because I didn't put any wings or control surfaces on this. So whenever I try to initiate my gravity turn, there's a good chance that the amount of thrust could overwhelm them from these two directions and make it pivot or pitch to, left or right. But for right now, we're going to SAS, so I'm going to go. I'm not going to go full blast. I'm going to go. This throttle control only works for liquid fuel engines. Solid rocket boosters, you control the amount of thrust they have, and I guess you control their gimbal. No. Nope. The thrust they have is constant, and they pick up more as they burn more fuel. They do have a gimbal, but I don't trust gimbals that much. Let's go. This will be a nice, slow, casual burn to get torque. Yeah, I'd heard that you want to hit either 300 meters per second or 10,000 meters when you start your gravity turn. I think that's probably because you really just want to get that first past the densest sea level layer of atmosphere, and then your rockets with sufficient thrust or high enough speed can just kind of cut the rest of the atmosphere like a hot knife through butter. But I'm coming up on 10,000 meters. Solid rocket fuel is kind of spent, so yeah, this is fine. I'm going to have to cut back in my throttle a bit. And then once I ditch these solid rocket boosters, I'm gonna be going nuts with this my throttle here. I'm gonna turn, of course. Actually, I'm gonna start trying to turn now. Okay, I see I'm going way too fast. Oh no. There we go. Oh. Whew. No. See, it's not good. It's alright, I'm trying to recover this as best as we can. Oh! Okay, if I still make it to space, this will be good here. Oh, wait a second, I didn't set my thrust limiter. Yeah, we're good. Oh yeah, this is great. We're gonna get to orbit, no problem. I can't, that usually never works out that well. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and deploy that. Okay, yeah. Okay, this is fine. This is fine. We're gonna do RCS. We're gonna set up prograde. Gonna do the. Oh my gosh, that's nowhere near where I want it. Okay, I'm gonna have to burn. I'm gonna turn RCS off because I just want to control the people. I don't want to waste any of the mono propellant when I have to. Yeah, I'm gonna pick up speed. Ideally, I want to get my apoapsis all the way out to my stations. Actually, I'll probably stop short right about here, and then I will switch to 90 degrees and burn so I can extend my eccentricity here. Okay, we're gonna get to stability assist because really I probably should not have blown my protective shell that's in, because it's gonna be some wobbling. There we go. Alright. Do the next burn on that. Okay. I mean, that's not quite the same thing, but that's close. Okay, pass here. And because it's so close to my apoapsis, I'm just going to switch to prograde. And hopefully we will expend the rest of this stage. Okay, I'm going to fast forward that. I'm kind of limping my way to space right now. Well, at least a little. I'm in space. Okay, got plenty of electric charge. On big circles. Okay. Now, I'm in orbit. You're safe. I do think I need to extend the solar panel too, just so I can rebuild electric charge for when I'm not safe. This is where I can use my autopilot. We're going to do a rendezvous autopilot. So, what are we going to rendezvous with? Well, the station we put up here already. We're going to set as target. I like this because it just does all the math calculations for me, a lot of geometry. I'll kind of talk about it as it speeds through it. I want to get a distance of 120 meters, so no, we're going to do 150. Because just because it's autopilot does not mean it's smart. We're going to have a maximum number of phasing orbits, so as it tries to make a Hohmann transfer, which is where you go as fast or as slow as possible, either the apoapsis or periapsis, that'll enlarge or shrink your orbit. And if you go in either, like, since this is an east-west orbit, if you go north or south at the apoapsis, the periapsis, it can match your planes too. Which you want to match planes, because you can be making the same orbit all day, but if it's like in conflicting directions, you're never going to run into anything. We're going to go ahead and dodge, engage the autopilot. And the first thing it's going to try to do is match my plane, because I'm coming up on my apoapsis. Yep, it's choosing to align it north. This is kind of fun. Mostly because I really like to set the autopilot and watch it work. Hold on, what company is that? It's that one. Oh, okay. That's fine. So once I burn out all the liquid fuel for this stage, I'll ditch it. Sadly, it'll be stuck in orbit like forever. And once it gets done adjusting it for my, let's do that, circularizing, because if my apoapsis and periapsis don't match, it'll just waste way too much delta P to get there. And this just makes it really smooth and easy to run. And I've got an auto warp, so it'll fast forward when it needs to. And this is fun because it just spends a crazy amount of time lining up for the next maneuver node. Which maneuver nodes are just like special highlighted points that it generates for you, or you can set these manually. Because I get so sick of manually putting things in orbit and matching things all the time, that's why I love this MechJet autopilot, because it just does it for me. I don't have to do the math every single time I do this. I mean, because it's doable, and you kind of have to know it to get even this far in the game, but for right now, that's where we're at. Okay, so it's going to do a Hohmann transfer after 4.2 phasing orbits. Because I have a slightly smaller orbit than the station, I will catch up to it in the orbit that way. So it'll just keep doing this over and over again. We get at predetermined points where we're going to end up eventually being as close as possible. It's going to, like, gun my engine to match the orbit when I'm real close to it. So, which will be over here on the dark side, sadly. But, so you don't get to see a whole lot of cool stuff. Spending way too much time maneuvering to get ready for the next node. Yeah, I just realized I didn't put any fun lights on here. I think the only lights I have are from the structural tubes and docking lights. That's okay, I put enough lights in the station in general, but it should be fine. Oh, yeah, I had to go to Walmart earlier today and pick up an SD card for Becky's Nintendo Switch, which was like $24.95 in store. But if I ordered it online for pickup, it was like $18.95. So I'd save $5 just by using the pickup option. Last night when I discovered this, the guy who's worked in the electronics section, I was like, I'm already here, I can get this price, what's to prevent me from buying it right here from my phone online and just carrying this to customer service or register for pickup? And he was like, well, you'd have to wait 6 hours for it to get picked, and we'd be closed by the time it got, that get picked. So it's like, since I can get picked through the morning to get ready for pickup, he's like, yeah, that's right. Well, I slept in, and I didn't end up actually going to pick the dang thing up until closer to 8 o'clock at night. And when I got there, the pickup line, there was a line of cars that was like dragging all the way around the pharmacy, and they had 16 pickup parking spots. And this isn't just people who are picking up like one or two things like me, it's people that do their whole freaking grocery shopping. And so basically they repurposed like this building similar to the automotive center on the other side, and it's just filled with employees that just run around and pick stuff. So it's not actually picked every day, I don't think, like it was when I worked briefly at Target. I think they like pick it for you on the spot and then do all your shopping right there where you just wait in your car. Which I was like, that's not very convenient. And the thing is, they had 16 parking spots, and they had cars in a line waiting around Walmart just to get into a parking spot to check in to have somebody go physically pick the item. I must have been waiting there for an hour and a half just to get one SD card. Yeah, it's December 2nd at 8 p.m. in a Walmart in a major metropolitan area, but still, I'm just like, that's ridiculous. And so then, I had planned to go to Target because they had a really good deal on some gifts I was going to get for the kids that they like. And Target, it's normally like a, I mean, they say it's a $40 product, but it's been marked down to like $21.99 in store. But if I bought it, yet again, if I buy it online and have it picked at Target, which I actually work there, so I know how that works, I can get it for $14.99. So I'm just saving $5 here, $5 there. And at this point, I'm wondering if it's really worth my time. Because as soon as I found out that you had to buy it online and have it picked for you the next day, I just got this really bad taste in my mouth and I wanted to throw up, and it was just horrible. So I'll probably be going back to Target tomorrow to get these items at a discounted rate. Oh, hey, look, we're already rendezvoused. Got up. But it was just a nightmare, and if you can avoid using pickup services unless you got a lot of extra time on your hands, I would say don't do it. I'm going to go ahead and retract my solar panels here. And I am, I'm going to ditch this booster. That ain't good. Okay, I separated that booster too early just because I wanted to get this to like my final stage looking part. And it's giving me all this stuff in the red, which means it's got a bad burn time. Yeah, I think it's going to bring me to top. That's okay, we'll work on it. See, as it kind of, I like it because this isn't SpaceX, all the math has been fine-tuned. There's margins of error for everything. And on paper, you could be able to do this, but because of things like wind resistances and orbital velocities, and I mean, I dare say gravity fluctuations, you end up having to like turn around, speed up, turn around, slow down, and just do all these things to, rendezvous correctly. And I'm going in really, really hot. I don't know if I trust it. It doesn't give me burn time, it doesn't know because I changed the mass by ditching that rocket stage, which is floating around somewhere. That's way over there. But anyway, it's going to park us right up, ideally 150 meters away from my target. And, you know what, we're close enough now. I'm going to turn off my rendezvous autopilot, and I'm going to go ahead and dock this bad boy. I'm going to change my camera angle on here because there is a certain orientation I would like to hit. There we go. Now, I have manually docked before, but this docking autopilot just makes it so easy. Oh, that's hurting my eyes over there. Now, by the way, I might keep these engines on here. This space station is only going to eventually just have maneuvering thruster capabilities or ratchet control. Because I'm not going to try to get it out of orbit. I'm going to park it into orbit. Like, it's in its more or less permanent orbit now, but I can put it in a higher or lower orbit using GSRCS if I need to. Eventually I will deorbit it, but I'll dock a whole set of engines so I can expedite the whole process of deorbiting and exploding it. Now, in theory, you can... Oh man, that's lined up so perfectly. In theory, you can put parachutes on everything on this bad boy and just land it and keep everything intact, but for me, I just like to deorbit them through the atmosphere and watch them explode. It's just there's something that just really makes me feel good about that. We're docked. Look at that. That is our station arm. It is docked. We're going to extend some solar panels. And I'm going to go reopen this again in the lab and launch the other arm. But we've got the beginnings of quite the little... Oh my gosh, it's on the wrong side. We had the beginnings of quite the awesome little space station. That's fine. This is all I'm doing for tonight. I'll put the other arm later. But actually, this piece right here, for symmetry reasons, I meant to have actually parked at this dock here, which I can fix that later. That's fine. So when I bring the other one in, I'll probably park it here or there and just move this one over. But that's why you always bring extra monopropellant with you everywhere you go. But this is it for tonight, and once I finish it tomorrow, I will show you the video of me deorbiting it. Yep. Alright, well, that's it.